Hello and welcome to Finextra's Financial Cloud Summit. I'm Hannah Wallace, and kindly joining me away from the busy event is Ben Scowen from Kyndryl. Ben, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Hannah.
Really good to have you on, and excited to talk off the back of your session just now, doing more for less. But first, I think it'd be really handy for our audience if you could sort of set the scene and describe to us what is a platform, what is hybrid cloud, and what is multi-cloud. Let's start there.
Well, there's a big set of questions you've asked me, so I'll start with platform. So I think, first of all, a platform is something that allows you to do, more for less. It allows you to accelerate the delivery of something, standardize the way you deliver something, right? And there's many examples of platform. Excel spreadsheet could be an example. It could be some application you use that helps you, right? So that's the kind of definition of a platform. Now, if you look at most businesses, they probably need between 30 and 40 different types of platform. And what's becoming really clear is that they are what give a business its competitive advantage. Because they allow it to do it more without all the setup costs. Hybrid cloud, it's a wide discussion and debatable, but the way that I define hybrid cloud is you've got the idea of public cloud, which is run by the hyperscalers, the cloud providers. Then you've got, maybe you own your own data center, on-premises sometimes called, that's and within there you would like to bring some of that cloud technology, but you want it for residency reasons or security reasons or whatever in your own data center. So you're going to build some form of private cloud. And then the other part is edge cloud, where you're going to maybe put something really close, maybe you're doing some low latency sort of service, so you need to have some cloud capability close to that. And the combination of public, private and edge for me is hybrid cloud. Now multi-cloud is interesting. It's pretty self-explanatory, but it's when you use two or more cloud providers to run your business. I think I should leave it at that. But that's for me the definition of those three things, and they're pretty important concepts, right? Because off of the back of those, you get lots of advantages.
No, that's great. Thanks for setting the scene. It's really helpful to define those areas. And now let's talk about your session, because what did you set out to find amongst the discussion, and also what was the sort of key takeaway that you wanted the audience to grasp?
Well, I got to say, I loved the session. For me, I really thought hard about it, but my opening kind of, posit to the audience was really, this is just really difficult, right? Running your business with technology is incredibly difficult, and that's because it's complex, it's changing all the time. And the consequence of that is you build up all this technical debt, out-of-date software, hardware, that strategic solution that's no longer in favor, it's now tactical. So my talk was all about that problem is really, really difficult to solve. But actually, at the moment, we need to do more for less, right? We need to do much more with what we've got than just buy more stuff and do stuff. So how do we get out of the situation of where we've got all this technical debt, but yet we want to do all this new funky stuff? And so my whole talk was around about that, and it was really going through, what steps you can do to make that a reality, how you can get out of that problem, really. Right.
So is that the main challenge then? It is really difficult, and then in response to that, what is your advice? What is the approach there?
So it's an interesting point just quickly to make is that whether you're a challenger bank or whether you're an established bank, it doesn't matter.
Right.
You have this same problem. So we spent the last 10 years creating this technical debt in the cloud. We spent the last 30 years creating it in data centers. So if we're going to solve that problem, there's a number of things we can do, but one of the things I start talking to, and it kind of sounds boring, but it's really important, is that transformation, your approach to how you do your business transformation, which is enabled by digital transformation, is going to be critical to the way you're going forward. And I advise clients, you must own it. Do not outsource it. You need to own that, whether you're going from being Ford Motor Car Company, combustion engine, to being an electric car company, you need to own that business transformation. And so that's one of the things I really start with, is the idea of that digital helps you, enables that, but digital's actually the thing that causes you most of the technical debt to be built. Because what you do is you hire some crazy engineers, you build some things really fast, you do that 7 times in parallel, right? What do you get? You get a lot of waste in that process. So actually the question then is, what do I have to do to counter the fact that I want to get to market really fast? I want to do my business transformation. but at the same time I'm generating all the stuff that's going to cost me more and more money to run.
Sure.
And that's kind of what I talk about. And so I think transformation is one of the key critical pieces of the puzzle.
All right, you've done a good job to highlight the challenges there and also some of the opportunities, and weaved in a bit of advice. So where do you see this space evolving then? What can we expect?
Well, I think, I mean, if we break this down to the key trends really, I think, in the market that are going to help us, right? And so the first thing is we need to drastically simplify the IT estates we've got. Imagine a house that's just full of junk, right? We've got to get the skep literally and get as much of the stuff we don't need out. We've got to declutter the IT estate, which is incredibly difficult to do, right? Because, you know, a lot of the, unlike something that's sitting in your cupboard not being used, I suppose sentimental value is the connection there, but within a bank, you can't just get rid of that thing because it's got a function, it's got a business function. So the big trend that I see is vertical integration. So imagine, for example, with my kids, I chose Apple technology, right, in the house. And the reason I chose that was when they were all in Android and different phones, supporting that technology was really, really difficult. So by standardizing on Apple, doing that vertical integration, I all of a sudden made dad support really, really easy. So if we think about that and take that to an IT estate, if we can unify our IT, if we can simplify it, if we can use cloud technology like Amazon and Azure have developed, and Google, and bring this into the data center as out-the-box appliances, all of a sudden our developers, our business people, they use one technology stack, right?
Yeah.
And that one technology stack, that simplification means you need less skills, and it means you can do things much more quickly. So I know it's a bit of a long answer, but the major trend I see is in the unification of IT, simplification of it, using hyperscaler technology. Sorry, it's always a long answer, right? But that's a pretty complex question. There's other trends as well, but you know, if you want me to, I mean the other.
No, please do. Please do.
The other big trend I think in the market is low code and SaaS. There just isn't enough software engineers on the planet to do everything we need to do. There just isn't. And you know, if you think you're going to hire them, I'm afraid Tesla already did, right? So you'll hire some you'll hire some engineers, but you really need to, the guys you've got and girls that you've got that can actually build out really sophisticated solutions. The cloud is a software endeavor. Focus them on differentiation. Focus them on things that make you different in the market. And you need to maniacally enable your business users to do more for themselves. And the way you do that is with low coding platforms. You do that with, you know, SaaS services, business platforms. Enable everybody to do more for themselves and focus your high engineers on that. So that's definitely a big trend we see. Yeah, I mean the only last one I would say is there's many others, but the other big thing is, and I talked about it early on, is platforms.
Yep.
You've got to have a platform strategy, and it's kind of an adjunct to the other things I've just talked about. Platforms are going to give you what your competitive advantage. And try not to build them. Try to reuse other people's platforms out the box. Outsource your software engineering as much as possible to other providers. It might cost you more, Apple will cost you more, but it will save you a lot in the productivity and the support costs later on.
Some brilliant advice there. And as you say, I'm sure we could speak for a lot longer about it, but I'm going to let you get back to the event. But Ben, thank you so much for sharing your insights and some really good advice there as well, so thank you.
I appreciate it, Hannah, thank you.